for me, as it's first run of the night, I'm just going to try and grab something and get out of here. So,
always be aware of the nearest exits in case you need to escape quickly.
the game itself is set in the 90s, so there's no GPS, early 90s that is, and no GPS or anything like that. You've got to rely on an ordnance survey map to get you around, and that means opening up this big thing that takes up most of your screen. So it's worth, getting a good idea of where you want to go and just head in that direction. If you're spending any less of time looking at these things, you'll get in trouble. The game is very similar to something like PUBG mixed with maybe the Long Dark. You're not forced into being the last survivor, killing anyone. You really don't have to do any of that. And with me not carrying any weapons, unless I find some, which is very rare, we won't actually be attacking anyone. You cannot attack, you can't punch or anything whilst you're unarmed. The smallest weapon that you can have is a knife, as far as I can tell. And really, you probably don't want to take a knife to a gunfight.
Exits are the way to get out of the area. Timely escape is the key for survival.
I can hear some gunfire in the distance. We're not looking for any encounters today. The less the better, as long as en route. There's no point leaving with nothing. There's no point coming in with nothing and leaving with nothing. You're definitely better just trying to at least find a little bit of resources before leaving the area. Being killed right now will not lose you anything. There's no penalty for that. Being killed whilst you're carrying weapons means that you'll be looted for your weapons, with maybe the exception of you getting insurance at the beginning. But that's the microtransactions of this game, is you having the choice to increase the loot for a level, or giving yourself insurance upon your death, losing everything. You're essentially, you can grind for the gold coins that's going to give you that, but it is a real grind. So you're going to, if it's your thing, if you really want to make sure you're not going to lose too much, you're going to have to spend actual currency. Alright, I'm going the wrong way at the moment. We're going a little too far. I just want to make sure I'm near the exit so that when I do find some goodies, I can hopefully make a quick getaway. And the other thing that happens is on the bottom right, you might see my little fatigue bar. This will, when that eventually drains down to a certain point, he will start coughing and giving his position away. So you really don't want him to get too tired by sprinting all the time. Now we're nearly at where the exit is. Again, we haven't got anything as yet. There's not too much reason to be leaving. Gunfire ahead somewhere. I'm going to guess the exit's up here somewhere. Oh, there we go. So, where this red paint is where we go when we're finished here. So I can see there's something over here. Maybe worth a look. So, sneak round the side. Hope for the best. Much like PUBG, this game does get very intense, especially when if you decide to go for the airdrops, or if you're searching homes and you hear footsteps. You can get caught out with your own footsteps, the sound of snow crunching under your feet in some of the areas is quite disconcerting. Looks like this place has been looted. Nothing at all for the take. Wow, one whole bottle of chemicals so far. Oh, something closed here. More chemicals probably, yes, indeed. Right, where are we? Okay, looks like if I'm really wanting to pick up anything, I'll have to go down to the right and see if there's anything in these homes, but by now I would expect it to be looted. The maps are not anywhere near as big as as something like PUBG. They tend to be about 12 players, so each game is meant to be fairly brief. You still get radiation clouds and similar things like that, but it's not as restrictive as in that you're sort of pulled in. There's still opportunities for you to escape. Without having shot a bullet or anything like that, you can just choose, as I'm doing today, to go and collect resources and try and get out of there. Now I'm going to go ahead here to try and escape the level. I haven't really collected very much. There's not been very much on my side this turn, but fingers crossed I can just get out of here with what I've got. Now, all these houses are usually looted on this level, but oh well, a bit lucky. Keep going. Very lucky so far. I very much doubt my luck will hold, but we'll keep going for now.
The plane with the airdrop is about to reach your area. Avoid the drop zone if you are not ready to fight with other outlanders.
No, I'm not ready to fight with other outlanders right now. We're happy just to collect this stuff. Ooh, a Thompson. Nice one. Alright, no ammo though. Take that with me. And then once that's done and dusted, I just keep going down this way, because this is the leaving area. Now, you get 10 seconds running down this way just to, not for any reason, you don't have to do anything, but you tend to find stuff in the cars, so it's worth it to just pick up what you can en route. And there we go. So, I've got a fair amount of resources, happy about that. Let's return to the shelter. Began a bit slow, but managed to get a few things and avoided any battles. And back we are to the home. I'm not sure what the appeal of the game will be once you've actually upgraded your house to the mansion it's going to be, but for now, it's certainly entertaining just to add components here and there when you can. How long is this going to take? Another 7 minutes, so I could make another foray into area and just see what I can collect. It says right now I'm working on the 30th item, 30th upgrade to my home. I need to do 34 upgrades, so 34 improvements before I'm able to unlock level 8 and start working on the next few items on the agenda. So it's going to take a little while before anything new is unlocked for the home. With upgrading from each level of the house, you get a loot box of sorts, which will come with various different sources, sometimes rare, sometimes not, which could be anything from other materials to upgrade your house, or in other cases it's weapons or ammo, stuff to help you along with the process. Here we go again. As I was saying earlier, this is the place where you get the opportunity to increase the opportunity to collect loot, get better crates from the airdrops, and get insurance for them. So you hold on to the items that you've collected. Right now, one person has added to the loot, which affects the whole group, which is a bonus, but it does mean that if you die, you're going to lose more. You're going to lose more. If you kill, you're going to gain more. Right now, that chap is, after spending money, has got more to gain, more to lose. Alright, so this time, I think what I'm going to do is...
Some outlanders are not gathering resources. They just hunt others. Be careful.
Now, crossing rivers is quite dangerous. You have to be prepared that it's a slow slog, and you're very exposed when doing so. I definitely did this at the wrong point because I can't climb up that side. I'll have to hope no one else is going to be about, so I can do something equally as stupid and take some shots at me. I do have my Thompson. Unfortunately, there's no ammo in it. Oh, I see a guy over there. I'll just try and stay out of the way. Yeah, you see him crawling. Nice to have a sniper, but I've not seen snipers in this game as yet. Right, well, that's going on. I'm trying to work out where I'm going to go. Right, so that chap just came directly ahead of me, so if I work my way around the edge of this map, hopefully there'll be an opportunity to get a few bits and bobs. Wonder if he's seen me. You can hear my chap is breathing heavier and heavier because he's being more and more fatigued. If I left that going much longer, he would start coughing, which is going to give your position away. So you really want him to rest before you get to that point. The good thing about wooded areas is a lot more to hide in. So I'll find out where I am. Where are you, Mark? There I am. So we're not too far away from an exit point at the moment. I will just keep searching through the woods. Hopefully there's a few more resources. It's not marked on the map. As you can hear, there's a lot more noise comes from your boots from when you're in snow. And that is very noticeable from other players' perspective as well. So running through it is just going to give your position away a lot easier. I'm only avoiding leaving at the moment because I really haven't collected anything worthwhile, so there's nothing really to be lost at the moment. Frustrating even losing the smallest amount that you've collected because you've come out into the wilderness looking for stuff, but you know, you just have to decide whether the time it takes to go through the loading of the game and look around and everything. What are you really happy with what you've collected? Because if not, then you shouldn't be too dismayed if you lose it. Yeah, it's not enough that no one's gonna bother. Whoa. Me to avoid. I think I'll just go this way. I don't think that Chapman's where I went. Boost. For what little resources I've got though, I suddenly feel quite attached to it, so forget everything I said before, just leave when you feel like you'd be better holding on to what you've got. Or at least try and boost them. Right, well in that case, I don't feel like I've had a lot of luck here. I don't feel like going any further into the wilderness is going to help me at all, so I'm just going to leave here.
You can leave the area back to the safety of the shelter whenever you want.
No pressure there. So I didn't gain too much, a few things that's going to help in building up the homestead. Right now I think I need a lot of metal parts to be able to install electricity, and that isn't going to happen quickly with the way that I'm gathering stuff, staying out of battles and holding on to my own resources is a slow slog. Typically, if you manage to kill anyone and they've been out looting from all the areas around you, you can't gain a lot from a single kill. So it's definitely a worthy option as well. So what I'd really like to do is upgrade this electric generator, but I'm only a quarter of the way to collecting all the metal parts I need, and a tenth of the way in the electronics side. I've used a lot of these components previously for other things, so it's not a surprise that I've got to collect more, but that seems like quite a harsh number to achieve. It's obviously a bit of a climb from the components that I've been upgrading earlier. However, it looks like we can upgrade this. Just improves the overall building time of anything that you're creating, so it's maybe worthwhile. It also says that it will unlock the ability to craft weapons and consumables using plans. I don't know if that's plans that you'll get for upgrading, or it's plans you got to find somewhere, because I've certainly not found any plans so far. Okay. May as well. 1 hour. An hour to turn that around. Don't really need to collect these things, it just feels like you get an opportunity to look at the fruits of your labour from upgrading these places. Nice little outhouse here. You can upgrade it several times, so I'm hoping to have something very luxurious by the end of it. One thing about this game is that you have to get used to the shooting. Shooting from standing position, you get a very... You get a very very inaccurate shot, unless you're shooting close range. So the further away that you get, whatever you're shooting at becomes very, very difficult. Crouching makes it definitely a lot easier, and if you're actually down on all fours, it becomes much more accurate. Likeliness of doing a lot of some in the game is just dependent on how used you are to doing these things in either Call of Duty or even Fortnite. Personally, it's hell for me. I'm not particularly good at convincing myself to get down on all fours and take these shots. I'm much more of a runaway guy. So anyway, that's the moment. So upgrading, I will drop off the weapons that we discovered whilst out and about, and we'll go back in weapons free. Generally, the game takes about a minute and a half to find enough players to play. Again, it's in game preview, so it's maybe just the lack of players at the moment. It takes it a bit longer than hopefully it will. From what I understand, it is going to be a free game to continue playing whilst it's in game preview. You have to pay about £16 or $20-ish. To become one of the founders of the Game Boy. There's really not much to do if you're not going to go and play about in the firing range right now. Can't go fishing or anything. It's although it mentions fishing at the top of this hill, there's not really much you can do whilst waiting for it to find players for the next battle. You can decide which area you want to go to when you start a game, but you can choose any of these areas, but I tend to just go for quickly, and hopefully it'll find an encounter on any of the maps for me. Now that fall in actual PvP would definitely injure you. It's not particularly forgiving like that. Oddly, the one thing that you can survive is the snowy wilderness with your sleeves rolled up and just a body warmer. Now this place is littered with houses. The funny thing about Vigor is that houses are not a great place to find a lot of loot. You find them littered around the street around the houses, or in cars, in sheds maybe, caravans, but campsites yes, but you don't find very much in houses unless people choose, as they could do here, to increase the loot that that is available in the level. And if people choose to increase the loot, it's essentially the microtransactions of this game, where you can see my gold owned on the top left. If I use that to add more loot, then that's more loot for everyone. That's what our chapter ended with. So you can see as well, if I switch on what weapons people are carrying, I've got none there. You can see this guy's got a shotgun and Thompson and pistols as well, knives, you name it. So I'm really under threat of being killed quite easily, because without any weapons at all you can't even punch. So all I'm doing is keeping my head down and try to collect some resources and get out of there alive. So where am I starting? So right here I've got a couple of houses in front of me, and I've actually got an escape route just behind me.
Scout
so
the area to get familiar with it. Don't forget that you
I'll
might
look at the
encounter
houses,
dangerous
and if I'm lucky,
outlanders anywhere.
I'll find some goodies. But I'm going to start by walking around the outside, just to see if there's anything out here. So here we go. See here, there's something in the car. Quite a lot in the car. I could actually run away right now quite happily with what I've got. So let's build a house. The good thing about the houses is we can actually choose to leave via the windows. The windows open from the inside but not from the outside, so I guess the makers of secure windows will be happy with that result. So as I said, nothing much here, so we'll go and see what else there is on the way out. Oh, I shouldn't have jumped. So there we go, I lost about a third of my health just from a stupid jump. Usually done get a little bit excited. So no one else has been here yet. The maps are particularly aren't particularly big. They're only made for 12 or so players at a time. So you tend to, the games are short, and the yes, Magnum, it is a group game, so multiple. So you can have 2 or 4 players in a group. I haven't tried the group games yet. I've stuck to solo at the moment, and I've actually found it a lot of fun. But yeah, I would imagine it could get quite intense. I don't know as well if you were to be able to revive people. I don't know if it has that mechanic, or if you're legitimately dead from an encounter what would happen. Right now I'm just going to leave this area because I've got some goodies, so I'll just dump that off back at home base. And I'll do one more. So I'm a little bit of a scaredy cat with these things. It's the most difficult part of this game is definitely shooting. I'm not really used to the Bohemia games like Arma. I didn't play a lot of PUBG, but PUBG was fairly forgiving, whereas this game, when you're shooting with a pistol or a SMG or anything semi-automatic, I just found a nightmare. Whereas using a shotgun felt very satisfying. So we've still got a long wait at the moment for this to finish, and an hour. So yeah, a little bit to go there. So don't worry about sticking around for that. I want to kick off the next mission. Oh, I did drop off. I don't think. So losing anything when I go back in? No, nothing there. It's good. And we'll just enjoy the view whilst we wait for the game to start. Yeah, base upgrades persist. So you can actually kick off the upgrades. Some of them take 6-7 hours to upgrade. So it is a case of, obviously there's a central server somewhere keeping that information. And you come back and you might find you have to go to the workbench there, and you have to switch it over to the build mode to actually see the effect of your upgrades. You'll see like a little cutscene showing what has been upgraded every time the home base is leveled up. So like all this stuff that's here, because I've just emptied this stuff out, there's nothing here, but whilst you're away overnight, you might actually find that you're collecting resources. The thing I don't really know what it's for at the moment is, oh yeah, over here I've built this radio tower as well. First, this thing here, once you've actually collected it, that's where you get the gold from, but like I say, it's a grind getting that. So you've got an option here to donate to the not so lucky. I really don't know what it does. I've donated 186 bits of food so far, and I noticed people have put tens of thousands of pieces of fruit to that. I don't know if there's any end game to it. I don't know if in return you'll get something, or if it's all just for a rare achievement. Who knows? This is a bit odd one, this bit here. It gives you that waiting for players, but sometimes there's 2 players when it gets to this page, sometimes there's 12. And then even in this point, you might find people will get added. I think they need to sort out the screen just a little bit. We've got another assassin, spelt weird. Let's put some loot in, and just since I've gained 10 points today, I'll put some loot in as well. Which means this will be the time that I actually get killed. So I'm in the airdrop area. I don't usually stick around for the airdrop because this place would get rather hot at that time. But I will have a quick look around,
Explore the
see
points
if
of interest to get familiar with the
there's
area.
anything near the airdrop
There is
that's
usually good loot there.
worth collecting. Because we're at 200% loot, we will actually find a lot more in the homesteads as well as out on
Don't
the
hesitate to leave the area
area
through the
around
exit
it.
if it's too dangerous.
So you get a lot of weapon parts in this, so like I say, if you've been playing the game a lot and you've lost a few times in a row and you've taken weapons in every time, those weapons are gone unless you've taken out that insurance. So one thing that's worth collecting and holding on to is a lot of components for building more weapons, which you can do quite easily back at the base. Oop. Now, I've not tried this before, but these safes, I have no idea how they work. I don't know how you're meant to... Oh, I felt the controller vibrate there. Oh. Hey. Woohoo! Oh yeah, so just wave away. You give it all away. Oh my goodness, I'm going to definitely do a runner here. I'm hearing gunfire outside. Right, so very quickly, let's see where my nearest exit is. And, oh, it's miles away. So we're going to head over here, which is probably right into the gunfire. Or we can head out this way. Actually, we'll go out this way. This will make this our exit point, and we'll just follow the coast around. So that's the direction. That's slightly to my left. Yes, definitely harsh. It's you don't want to lose too much, and you just. The good thing is that you can, if you play it safe. I found that most of the time I've managed to escape with the resources without giving too much away. But yeah, it becomes more difficult to upgrade as the game goes on because the more and more resources you need. So if you're in any hurry to do that, you definitely have to be a bit more ballsy than I tend to be. Oh, someone there. Someone's already been in here. Stick. Oh, something. Oh, here gunfire. So just quickly lie down here and check my maps where I am. So because you're working, because the game is set in the 90s, so you get Ordnance Survey maps instead of GPS or anything else. So your map takes up a lot of your screen, and it doesn't follow you about, so you've got to try and work out where you've ended up. You can either zoom out and just keep a note of that yellow arrow, but I have an awful time finding it, so it's good just to keep checking it regularly. Fertilizer comes in very handy for a lot of the food upgrades. It's good to actually see there's a few things out here. Hopefully, no one's been in this area, that's good. There is an achievement I haven't got yet for filling up every inventory slot and leaving successfully. I'm not going to take that chance just now. Just happy to get a few extra bits and bobs. Oh, look at all these things. Oh, I'm still going to get myself killed here. Anything else? Ooh. Yeah, so here's the exit. You can see the safe area painted on here. That means that we're good to go after that. And out here. Yeah. You keep shooting, pal. You got no chance. Noodles. Nice. A nice little bit of loot there. So the one thing I did purchase from the store was my nice little flat cap. Yeah, I wish he heard me. So, once again, successfully escaped, collected a pistol as well. That's good stuff. Let's put that back. I'll put all my. So anything you're carrying here, if because that's ammo for weapons, it tends to stay. If you want to take that into the next mission, so if you really want to keep it, if you don't want to die and lose that stuff, you've got to make sure you unload it. Obviously, most of the time I'd be playing this, I wouldn't be doing it without weapons. But in the meantime, I don't really think I've got much I can do until this is gone, so it's still a little while to go there. But hopefully, a few other things have opened up for. Maybe not. Maybe I still need to collect more stuff. Things are getting a little bit more expensive now. These things started off, the first level was like 2 items, and like this one here was, I think I needed 28 pieces of glass and I need 429 to get to level 3. So it's it fairly jumps up. And yes, typically you can buy your way out of a lot of this stuff, but it's really not what I want to do. The magazines on the table represent the store. You can see here. Yeah, you can spend a fair bit of money. Best value, £83. Yes, it should be the best value at that price. No, there's no pay to win. It's all cosmetic. There's the weapons are. It's just paint jobs. That's all. Pink helmet though. Oh, tempted. The good thing is all the cosmetics, you cannot lose them. They're yours. And whatever default cosmetic you've decided to apply will always apply to the weapon you're carrying. So I think that's pretty much it for tonight. I've had a few games there. Actually, let's see if there's any. Yeah, kill 10 outlanders with pistols, not happening. Kill 10 outlanders with shotguns, not happening. Deconstruct 15 consumables. I'm not deconstructing consumables right now. They tend to be things like bandages and stuff like that. So should I go back to like disinfectant bandages, things to make up medical stuff to help boost you if you survive an encounter in the game. So I certainly don't have 15 to get rid of anyway. Well, how long have I got before I have to buy the pink helmet? 17 hours. I may come back to that tomorrow morning. But that's it. So the upgrades to the house are fairly elaborate. There's although it's all cosmetic, it's all for show, this stuff. You can actually access your whatever you've got so far in here. I quite like the rain jacket you start off with for default. It was actually looks pretty good. Looks quite oily, but this is what you get for spending the money on the founder's option. And that's it, really. So anyway, I'm going to do this a couple more nights this week. I'm going to continue going into the wasteland and attempt to collect resources and upgrade my home, keep it going, and just keep playing. I'm quite enjoying it. It's not quite as frustrating as something like any of the Battle Royale games, because you can choose to leave. Of course, on the flip side of that, it's double frustrating if you end up getting killed when you're carrying a whole heap of weapons and resources and you lose the lot. So it just depends how your luck goes in the game. Short range, for me anyway, is definitely far, far better than long range. I was watching Ninja playing Fortnite the other day, and he's definitely like a long range player, and I cannot imagine he'd be pulling the same kind of nonsense in this game. But hey, he's probably a better gamer all round than I am, so just I better not put my money where my mouth is. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in, and I will catch you later.